Today we'd like to show you the basic operation of the 1500Li with the new remote, and it also works the same way for the 1500LTD. You plug in your cart, stick this pigtail. Notice there's a little short pigtail on here. Connect it to your battery into the side of the cart. The reason we have a pigtail on here is because over the course of a couple of years, this connector will wear out on your battery, and it's soldered into the case, so the only way to change it is to resolder one. This way, you only need to replace this little pigtail if it wears out. Okay, after plugging in the battery, you'll notice that the LED on the end of the handle is flashing blue, and that means you're in standby mode. So to get the cart to function, you need to press this button until it turns solid blue. There it is. So now solid blue. Now the trolley has two modes of operation. One is trolley mode, or manual mode we call it, and the other is with the remote control. Let's talk about the manual mode here. So this speed dial allows the cart to control the speed, and you walk along with the cart and steer it by hand. You need to push the button one time. You can see that the wheels are now turning, and you set this to your walking speed. Whatever that may be. It can go quite fast, so it's like a slow jog or a medium jog if you turn it all the way up. Okay, so your cart is moving down the fairway. When you get to your ball, you just push the button and the cart will stop. It'll coast to a stop. If you want to go again, you hit your shot, you come back, you just push the button and the cart goes back to the same speed that it was going before. Now, if you want to use the remote control, the remote has all the functions that it always has had: left and right, forward and back, and 4 pre-programmed speeds. To turn the remote on, you need to push the left and right button simultaneously, and you'll see that you get 3 flashing blue lights there. So now the remote is on. So I just pushed the forward button, and you can see the wheels are turning. And if you want to stop your cart, you just push the red button on top that says stop. And the cart will coast to a stop. Your brake is not on at this time, and you should be able to see that the wheels, they do roll quite easily. There's a little bit of friction there. If you want to set the parking brake, you hit the P on the bottom if you're on a steep hill. And now the wheels are hard to turn because they're trying to turn the motors. So that's the difference between the stop and a parking brake. Okay. Now, in an emergency, if you need to stop the cart, if it's going to go hit a car or go into a pond or something, use the parking brake to stop it. It will lock the wheels up and come to an immediate stop. All right, so we showed you going forward. You press the button once. That is basically the slowest speed. If you want to go faster, you can just keep hitting it or hold it down. And that will be the fastest speed the cart will go, is if you hold this down until you get the maximum speed. And that's maximum speed right there. So I'm going to stop it. And if your cart is stopped and you use the left turn signal, one wheel turns one direction and the other one turns the other. So the cart does a 360 right on itself. So that's how it operates when it's stopped. Now, if you are at a stop and you want to go in reverse, you just hit the reverse button. The cart will go in reverse. If you want to go faster in reverse, you just hold the speed button down, and it will again take you up the max speed in reverse if you choose to do that. I wouldn't suggest going in reverse real fast. On the bottom of the remote, you have 4 pre-programmed speeds: 1, 2, 3, and 4. This is from the factory. 1 is the slowest. 2 would be another step up. 3, and then 4. Now 4 is the fastest pre-programmed button, but you can go faster if you hit the forward button once you're moving, and that'll take it up to max speed. Now if you're operating the cart and you get to a hill and you want the cart to slow down, your cart's going downhill, you just hit the reverse button, and now it's not reverse anymore, it's a slow button. It slows the cart down. So that's one way to control it from picking up too much speed when it goes down a hill. They don't pick up that much typically, but there's some steep hills out there, so that's one way to stop it.
Okay, to switch back and forth between the remote and the manual mode. The remote will always override manual mode. So if you're in manual mode and you pick up your remote and hit stop, your cart's going to stop. And if you hit any other button, it will respond. But if you've been using the remote, then you need to press the button on the end of the handle to get the speed dial to work. See, I'm turning the speed dial, it's not doing anything. If I leave the speed dial on, it will, and I push the button, it'll go to whatever speed that the speed dial is set at. So it's always kind of nice to shut it off, push the button, and then you can reset your speed. If you just use the remote, so if I leave this on and I walk up to it and just hit it, it's going to go at whatever speed it was set at. So some people make the mistake of leaving the speed dial all the way on, and they're using their remote, they have no idea it's on very fast, and then if they push the button to go back into manual mode, it's going to go as full speed, right? That's how you switch back and forth between the two. The remote overrides manual, the manual doesn't override remote. Push the button one time.
Now the remote has a 60-second timer, whereas if you don't push a button on the remote in 60 seconds, the cart will stop. So if you start it with the remote and you're going straight down a long par 5 and you don't touch a button for 60 seconds, the cart will stop. The remote has a power off button on it, which is right here. And if you hold that down, it'll flash, and now the remote is off. If you finish playing your round and you do not shut the remote off, it will automatically shut off at 30 minutes. That helps save the batteries in the remote. There's 3 batteries in this remote versus our old one, which had 2, but it still uses power if it's left on all the time. Now to fully shut the cart off, there's only one way to do that. You need to unplug the battery. So at the end of every round, make sure you unplug the battery, otherwise it'll keep drawing power from the cart and wear your battery out.